In the heart of Italy, in a sun-drenched town called Assisi, a boy was born. His name was Giovanni di Pietro di Bernardone, but his father, a wealthy cloth merchant, called him Francesco. It meant the Frenchman. His father loved France. Young Francis grew up surrounded by fine silks and beautiful things. He had everything a boy could want. Money was never a concern. He was charismatic, joyful, the life of the party. He dreamed of glory. To be a knight, to wear shining armor and ride into battle, a path to honor, fame, and a noble legacy. The world of Francis was one of stark contrasts, yet Francis could be generous, giving coins or bread when needed. He was, for a time, a prince in this merchant city, by popular decree, but sometimes a brief encounter would stir something in his soul. Fleeting thoughts were pushed aside by the next song and feast, yet the world urged him to heroics, and he listened. He prepared, ready to answer the call, to ride out and claim the destiny he believed awaited, but destiny would take an unexpected turn. The moment Francis had waited for arrived. War broke out between Assisi and Perugia. This was his chance. He donned his finest armor, mounted his horse, and rode with the men of Assisi, his heart pounding with excitement. But war was not glorious. It turned into a nightmare. The battle was a disaster for Assisi. Francis was captured, thrown into a grim prison in Perugia. For an entire year he was a prisoner, silks replaced by rags, feasts by meager rations. Even in that place, Francis kept hope alive. Yet the experience changed him. His arrogance chipped away. When released, he returned not as a hero but humbled. A severe illness followed. He lay bedridden for a long time. As he recovered, the world looked different. Simple things took on wonder. The dream of knighthood no longer stirred his soul, if not a knight. Then what was his purpose? He searched for a new master to serve, a new kind of glory. One day, in the crumbling chapel of San Damiano, something profound happened. He knelt before a large crucifix. He felt as if Christ was speaking to him.
"Francis, go and rebuild my house, for you see it is falling into ruin."
He took the words literally and began repairing the chapel. He went to his father's shop and took the most expensive soled cloth and his horse to raise money for San Damiano. The priest refused money but allowed Francis to stay. Francis tossed coins on a windowsill, a first step away from wealth. His father, furious, dragged him home and locked him in his mother. Seeing a new light, set him free. In the public square, Pietro demanded he renounce his inheritance. He stripped off his fine clothes and handed them back to his father. He stood naked before the town and declared one Father, our Father in heaven. He severed ties to his old life completely. No money, no possessions. He was truly free. He put on a rough tunic, tied it with a rope, and went barefoot. He begged for stones and carried them, repairing walls one by one. After San Damiano, he repaired other small chapels. He lived simply, prayer, manual labor, and begging for food. He sought the rejected, embraced lepers, cleaned sores, lived among them. He was rebuilding not just stone, but the true church in the hearts of the poor. As Francis lived this life, others were drawn to him. They saw a joy and freedom that was magnetic. Bernard of Quintaval and Peter Catani were first to join. They sold all they owned and gave the money to the poor. They adopted the simple life as Francis did. A small brotherhood, the Friars Minor, began to form. They lived the gospel. Poverty, simplicity, service. They helped townspeople, cared for the sick, preached peace. Their way contrasted with the powerful, wealthy official church. Francis's love extended beyond humans. To all creation, he famously preached to the birds. They listened and flew off when blessed. He would even pick up worms to save them. Brother sun, sister moon, brother wind, sister water, all creation is kin. His canticle of the sun praised God through nature. He saw holiness everywhere. A revolutionary view. Humanity was to live in harmonious brotherhood with creation. They went into towns, worked alongside laborers, and preached repentance. He showed that faith could be lived with joy and humility. His movement grew rapidly, offering a vision of renewed faith. On retreat at Mount Laverna, he had a vision. A seraph, an angel with 6 wings. He felt immense pain and joy. Then bore the stigmata, hands, feet, side. He was the first in history to receive these sacred marks. He bore them with humility and often tried to conceal them. A visible sign of his union with Christ's suffering and love. His health, fragile from prison, continued to fail. Even as his body weakened, his spirit stayed joyful. He asked to be taken to the Portiuncula chapel he loved. As he lay dying, he asked them to sing his Canticle of the Sun. He added a verse praising Sister bodily death. He died the evening of October 3, 1226. He lay on the bare ground, owning nothing. His last words were Psalms, "I have cried to the Lord with my voice." The world recognized his holiness. 2 years later, he was declared a saint. He founded the Franciscans, the Poor Clares, and a third order for lay people. He is patron saint of ecology, animals, and peace. Even Pope Francis chose his name to highlight simplicity and care for creation. The boy who dreamed of being a knight changed the world not with a sword but with love. He taught us to see God's face in the poor, in the outcast, in every creature. One life, lived with radical love and joyful humility, can alter the course of history.